Do you feel that people don't respect you? That you give more than you get? And that you are taken advantage of? That you are being used? It's an animal planet out there. If you aren't intentional, you'll be chewed up by others and spit back out empty-handed. And no one is going to look out for you. So it's about time that you get some respect, that you draw the line and no one gets to use you anymore. We're going to go through the 7 tips you need to follow starting now to get the respect you deserve and make people that even think about using you regret it. Let's get it. Number 1, wield silence. There are no words as powerful as well-placed silence. In general, we say too much. We are too eager to fill the void with our words, and we don't think enough of what we are going to say. When someone asks you a question, you get this impulse to spill out any information you have that's relevant. This presents multiple problems. One is that you run the risk of looking like a fumbling buffoon, where your words just fall out of your face without enough proper thought and consideration. 2 is that you end up falling into the trap of giving people what they want. If someone asks you for something, and you don't wield the silence to think about the ask clearly, then you default to just falling into their hands and being used for their benefit, without any consideration of your time and value. You need to embrace silence. Think of it like a part of the conversation, like a weapon in your tool belt to convey control, consideration, and weight in what you say. In general, pause before you respond to queries and questions. Savor the silence as you think through what you absolutely must say to transfer the information you think is most important in that situation. Think very deliberately about what words you will use. Say it in your head, then make edits as you see fit. And always say less than necessary. Beautiful messages are more concise, they are more filtered and selected. And the more condensed messages have a larger impact on the receiver and are more heard. It's a muscle that will need exercising, but it's a beautiful habit that will automatically gain you more respect and will make what you say more heard. It's one of those ironies of life, where the more silence you use and the less you say, the more powerful your words become, and the more people bend their ear when you speak. And we share a lot of these ironic but powerful life hacks on this channel, so like and subscribe to stay tuned. We're committed to growth and feeling real good about life. Number 2, be mysterious. If people can read you like an open book and can predict your moves, you won't get the respect you deserve. You have to always keep them guessing. Be like water and assume formlessness. Be shapeless and maneuver through the shadows to keep your plans and efforts concealed. This is going further from the first tip. You leverage silence and say as little as possible, but also become a mystery to most. And when you are no longer predictable and you are not easily understood, people will respect you more. They will not think so easily of you and will avoid approaching you with things that could waste your time. The unpredictable are feared. They are given time and value. They are respected. When others don't have the full picture of you, they fill the gaps with their own imagination. From those gaps come stories and tales. These are the things that help you become bigger than life, and these word of mouths precede you and expand like wildfire. These gaps serve you without you giving it any effort yourself. Carry this mystery with you as a veil, as a sword, as a shield. It's a very powerful and versatile element to master. A great quote that I love that embodies this point is, "Let them think you can't afford bread until they find out you own the bakery." Number 3, value conflict. Typically, we run from conflict. It's coded in us through nature and society to avoid it at all costs. When you see society moving in one direction, you need to look carefully at the contrarian way and see if there's some arbitrage here. In this case, there is some powerful unlock if we do it wisely. To avoid conflict, we often sacrifice our own value and objectives, and we end up serving others' needs just to avoid a moment of uncomfort. We are so driven by short-term value assessments, and this drives a lot of poor behavior. Our addiction to social media, alcohol and drugs, gambling, and our avoidance of good things that require hard work and dedication all come from our short-term value thinking. Quick dopamine, avoiding short-term pain. We're slaves to this. But we're smarter than this. So when you interact with people, you have to always think about what is right for you, what makes sense for you, then push back when the value exchange doesn't make sense. Being comfortable in those moments of conflict and seeing others in minor frustration provides you with power. And even though in that moment there may be some small conflict, going forward you will be more respected for knowing your own value. Which brings us to our next point. Number 4, know your value. Your time, your energy, your money. Do you truly understand your value? You need to get intimately aware of what your value is. If you don't study this and understand this deeply, you're going to let the winds carry you wherever they want. You will have no agency with where your left foot and right foot goes. This is incredibly critical to understand, so don't take this lightly. You must understand your value. Let's focus in on the value of your time to make a point. How much more active years of your life do you have left? Well, cut out the time that you're asleep, which is 1/3. Then cut out the time that you are eating, using the restroom, commuting, working. How much free time are you left with? A sliver. Yes, we don't have a lot of free time in our one life. It's the truth. And if you don't intimately know this scarcity, then you end up wasting it. Just think about the time you spend on social media, aimlessly scrolling. It will be a shocking wake-up call if you really think about it. This will put things into perspective, how valuable your free time is. So think about this when you consider giving your time to others. And the more intentional you are, the more respected your time will be by others. Then do this exercise with the value of your energy and money as well, because both of those things are finite. And when you understand how finite those things are for you, you come to similarly shocking revelations. And the more intentional you are with those, others will respect those things of yours more. It all starts with you respecting yourself, then others follow. Knowing is the start of appreciating things. So study about your value and be enlightened to it. Number 5, understand respect. Most people misunderstand respect and where it comes from. We think that pleasing others and making them happy garners respect. We think that being agreeable and saying yes to everything asked of us produces respect. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's the opposite. People are inherently selfish, and when they see there are pathways to get what they want with little friction, they will continue to pursue those paths and take advantage where things get easy for them. So respect comes from the word know. It comes from drawing the lines very clearly and being very intentional with what you give. Respect needs to be understood correctly, because if you don't study it and come to a deep awareness, then you end up being swept away with some default assumptions that ironically get you the opposite of what you are looking for. You get disrespect, you get used, you are seen as easy and treated less than what you are worth. What has led to you getting more or less respect from others? Share in the comments, it'll be great for the community. Number 6, crush it. Sometimes it makes sense to say yes. When you have thought through very carefully and have come to the conclusion that you should take on a certain request, then you should say yes. But when you do, you need to be ready to absolutely crush it. For anything that you have committed to, you should be ready to do it with all of your heart and always maintain a high quality of execution. What you decide to spend your time and energy and money on is one thing that will get you more respect. But the dedication you put into it, the speed and efficiency that you complete it with, and the quality of output that is produced by you will also impact the amount of respect that you receive. And this is not always just saying yes to others' requests. This is also just you yourself deciding to do something and saying yes to yourself. If you say yes to losing 20 pounds bad weight, then pour your heart and soul into this pursuit. If you say yes to building a product and selling it, then don't give up. See it through till the end and use your time and energy like a beast. Be very selective with what you take on, but then you must absolutely crush it when you do take it on. Number 7, teach to fish. You may think that helping others is worthwhile, and therefore you should be of service. You should help them, and therefore the spent time is worth it. Let's touch on an important point that you should always consider before diving into this fallacy of service. When you use your time, energy, and money to solve others' problems, sometimes you are stealing from them an opportunity of growth and true value to them. They will come to you to get their problem solved because you may be really good at something, or you just may seem available. It may seem like an easy fix. Solving their problems is giving them fish. The real value to them would be to force them to solve this problem on their own, which would be them learning how to fish. And if they are not saved by you, then they learn how to turn this problem into a known solution, and they are no longer reliant on anyone else. This applies to many different situations. When you raise a child, when you have a friend, when you are caring for an elder. Solving all of their problems is not the best for them. They need to develop their own skills and capabilities so they are more independent and they figure things out themselves and they face more opportunities to develop better habits so that they live more fulfilling lives going forward. By being very intentional with where you use your resources and by embracing silence, conflict, and saying no, you end up getting more respect and also helping others. It's a win-win if you do it right. And if you'd like to get some additional tips on powerful daily habits, check out this video here.